Laughing is a serious
So I'm
matter.
meant to not be here right now, but we are having a quick emergency stream before I go. As far as crap the bed to West Ham. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, where we've got a lot to discuss after Forest pathetically lose to then, at the time, bottom of the league, West Ham by 3-0. And yes, emotions will be raw. Yes, we will be talking about the manager, tactics, Gibbs White, everything and anything. And if you don't want to hear just pure, raw, truthful stuff, then don't watch. But if you do, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribed, make sure you check out the sponsors today. OK Jersey, where you can grab your replica shirts for £15. Use code FFTV for a further 8% discount. There's a poll up in the chat.
I've got a lot of genuine Forest shirts for sale for £5 if people want them.
Hold on. Oh, what's going on? Right. There we go.
Evening, guys.
Yo, Wes.
Right.
Yo.
I want to kick this off with Ant because I got an interesting message from Ant. I haven't spoken to Ant since full time. I take it you didn't catch up with Nikki afterwards, did you?
Are you joking?
All right, over to you, Ant.
Yeah. God, where do you start with that? Look, my biggest problem, if I'm honest with you guys, my biggest problem is that the first half was dreadful, right? We had no shots on target that I can recall. West Ham were awful. I mean, truly, they are a shockingly bad team. We could go through them at will, but for some reason, we seem to choose not to. Backwards, sideways, backwards, sideways. No passion, no energy. You know, when we played Brentford, we went straight at it from the beginning, and my goodness me, we looked good. This game, there was nothing there, no energy. So, sorry, that just put me off. So, me and my brother were there, sat there, and we both sort of agreed, obviously, we need to make changes at half time. Why, you know, when players have played that badly, why not replace some of them? What's the reason for that? No. So we said, all right, okay, MGW was as bad today as he was good against Brentford. That's how bad he was. It was just, in fact, a lot of the players were shocking, to be honest. People like Milenkovic and Marilla that I adore, just giving the ball away.
Yeah.
Just bad passes. You know, but Morgan Gibbs White, you've got Douglas Luiz, you've got James McAtee. Why did Nuno think that in the second half, Morgan Gibbs White was capable of raising his game that much that he would have been a better option than either of those two young, new, eager players? Okay, so that was one. Also, Ndoye was having a stinker. Now, I'm not going to get onto his back. Players aren't brilliant every game. Sometimes they're below par. If they're below par, what is wrong with taking them off? We had Hutchinson on the bench, for example. And then, to top it all off, he brings Igor Jesus on for Chris Wood. Now, I'm sorry, but we needed a goal. And you can adore Igor Jesus as much as you like, you lot. The fact is, he ain't a goal scorer. 8 goals in 63 games tells me that's not his strong point. You've got Callum Owendo on the bench, lightning quick, whose modus operandi is scoring goals. That's what he's there for. But he doesn't. He brings on Igor Jesus in place of Chris Wood. And what was hilarious, well, not hilarious, it's fucking annoying. These guys were running up and down in front of us all match, these subs. Douglas Luiz, 90 minutes run up and down that. What's that all about?
Wait, he was warming up. We can say it, Ant. Was he warming up?
Capable of playing 20 minutes at least. He shouldn't be on the bench. That's the fact. But he obviously is capable. But Nuno doesn't want to use him. Why? Some might say it's because it's not his choice. You know, that's speculation, of course. But what really fucking annoyed me, oh, sorry, it's before the watershed. What really annoyed me, and it's something that particularly, Wolf, I had to think of your false name now. I nearly called you by your proper name. What Wolf has always said, and we've all agreed with him, it's not rocket science. He's a reactive manager, not a proactive manager. And he didn't prepare those last couple of subs until after we went 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go.
Yep.
What makes you think, okay, we're playing shit, but I'm not going to change it. Oh, hang on, all year we've gone 1-0 down. Now I'll change it. What kind of mentality is that? Why not think, hang on, we're not doing very well. Let's get some players on there that may be able to do something. At least liven the game up, if nothing else. And to lose 3-0 to West Ham is unacceptable. I'm not going to hog it. I'll let other people go now.
Yeah, no, just before I bring the other boys in, here are the subs. So West Ham scored in the 84th, 88th, and 90th minutes. Like, talk about capitulation for a start. Yep. Before that, he subbed on McAtee for, I think it was Dan and Doy. And then 73rd minute, Igor Jesus for Chris Wood. Yeah. No formation change, no nothing. West Ham, like Potter actually played with a 3 midfield. Paqueta just destroyed us all game. He was everywhere. He was absolutely everywhere.
He playing anyway.
He was excellent. Fernandez was excellent.
Yeah,
their left back was fantastic. They had some real.
Jude was cooking.
We allowed them to be excellent.
Yes,
but then they bring on that Somerville guy. And he's playing like Prime Malanga in the counter.
He's been injured for a year.
Not played for about 12 years. And he looked all right.
Yeah.
But my point was, if you carry on with those subs, you'll see that.
Yeah, I was just going to get onto it. So then West Ham go 2-0 up. So after the penalty, then he reacts and he brings on Hutchinson. At this stage, my head was gone. Who did he come on for? Hudson-Odoi, I think. And Sangare for Callum Mwendo. And then they go and score their third anyway. Like, these subs are driving me insane. Like, I can't understand how he didn't make the change at halftime. The simplest change is Gibbs White off, bring McAtee on the 10 if you don't want to change your system. Because Gibbs White has to be the worst best player I have ever seen at the moment. Because he's so overhyped, man. So overhyped. People are coming at me for not putting him in the team in my prediction yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't put him in mine.
There's your evidence.
Yeah, I didn't put him in mine.
Rob,
we have to wipe him up, so hopefully we can get some money from him in January.
Genuinely, I think we all alluded to dropping MG Dub from our teams when we were discussing it. All four of us. So, Rob wasn't here. Rob would have done it. Well, Rob may have done it.
Rob probably been off for a while.
Right. Well,
how are you, Rob? Welcome back. Oh, by the way, everyone, can we get some happy birthdays for Ant?
Yes.
Great birthday for you, Ant. Great birthday.
I'm not like him. I don't pretend to be younger than I am. I'm 43. I'll admit it. All right.
And as we were talking about backstage, an FFTV person and birthdays don't go well. You still haven't beaten my 7-0 to Blackburn, mate. So
no.
4 more.
But mine was at home. Mine was
at my birthday party, man. Anyway, Rob, what are you saying, bro?
Well, I don't think anybody saw that coming, and it's very difficult to explain. But when you get a result like that, it has to indicate something seriously wrong, right? I mean, we've played West Ham at home 3 times in the Premier League. We beat them 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, right? That should be an absolute banker. They haven't actually scored against us at the City Ground since we've been in the Premier League. We beat them at their own stadium, which is the penultimate game of the last season. So only 3-4 months ago. And they've been hammered in their first 2 games. We've looked pretty good. So you would have bet your house on Forest today. And I was not surprised that Nuno named an unchanged team. And if we'd won 2-0, then you would have probably forgiven that, right? But it's starting to look a little bit like stubbornness.
Yes.
Right? And like he's trying to make a point. And what really is troubling about today is that the core of our team was shit, right? So Gibbs White gave away the ball almost every time he had possession, right? But unfortunately, Sangare gave away the ball a lot as well.
Yep.
And he looked slow and clumsy. And unfortunately, also, Jared Bowen made Milenkovic look like a chump. Murillo, for the second goal, did a horror pass. Absolute horror pass. What was he doing? So this is the core of our team. You know, it's our 10, our 6, and our 2 centre backs were rubbish. And it didn't matter that people like Williams, Aina, and Sells were having a decent game. When the core of your team isn't working all at the same time, but the problem is that the manager didn't react to it. Right? The manager didn't. There should have been substitutions at half time.
Yes.
When you've had a team like West Ham who've been thrashed in their first 2 games, and we've not registered a shot in the first half, something needs to change.
Yep.
And, you know, if he's going to be that stubborn to not bring on Douglas Luiz, something is clearly wrong. I think that this is, and also I think it's probably not fair because we need to give credit to Potter, right? Because Potter's probably 1 game from being sacked, right? And this game was so heavily slanted in favour of Forest, and he's come and done to us what we did to other teams last season.
Right.
Every time I looked at West Ham, they were back in their shape. 2 banks of 4. That they were. The Forest attack was so slow and so ponderous. The build-up was so damn slow. There was no space for us to, and we kept turning the ball over, and they punished us every time. They punished us, and we were rushing back, and you know they registered that. I mean, Chris Wood had that header, but they registered the first 3 or 4 serious shots on target. And even though the stats were saying that the game was even, I felt like they were going to break the deadlock. And I was thinking, you know what? If we get to the end of this and it's 0-0, it could be a lot worse, you know. And it was just what I was thinking at that Everton game earlier this year. And then, well, we've had a rude awakening now, haven't we? Now, I mean, I don't know where we go from here because it looks to me like Nuno's been far too predictable with his lineup. He's just picked the same team again.
Yeah.
He's had pressure because Marinakis was present today. Nuno's had pressure from Edu. Get out there, go and attack, beat them 5-0, play 65% possession, dominate them. So he's fallen into a trap. He's picked a predictable team. He's tried to play in a way that is not normal for him. And Potter has said, I know, let's go there and pack the defense and hit them on the break. And West Ham have really done a job on us there. But I think, you know, so we shouldn't be unfair to them. They've done really well. They were like peak West Ham today. But my God, we played a massive part in our own downfall. And Nuno was very slow to react. He could have put 3 subs on at half time. I mean, Marco Silva did that, you know, and so he's compounded it with his stubbornness. And we nearly got away with a 0-0. But in fact, we've done an utter pratfall there. And it's been of our own making.
Yeah, let me just. Well, I've got to just change the layout 1 sec. Where's it doing? There we go. I found this guy lurking in the backstage.
Well, I know who he's gonna blame.
No. Just try to bring everyone
next to it. I don't want to be next to it. Move me away. I need to distance myself.
Big up to Jess.
Go on.
Let me just catch the super chat, sir. Big up to Jess with the £2. She goes, F Nuno, FMGW. Fair play, Jess. Steve with the £5 said, never thought I'd be Nuno out, but I can't defend that. Clearly doesn't want the new players that are not his. I love the caps locks, man. It's so beautifully emphasized on there. Shout out to you, Steve. Jess with another £2 says, my anger has no end today. You guys on Discord are in trouble if Jess is in this kind of mood. Thank you for the £2, Jess. And Matt with the 199 says, new manager has no favorites, selects on merits. That is absolute facts, man. This whole player FC thing is pissing me off. Thank you, Matt, for the 199. And Noah with the $5 says, can we just keep our entire squad over international break and just run passing drills? Man, the passing was woeful. It really was. It amateur-like. Thank you for that, Noah. And Kev with the 499 says, I was firmly in the Nuno in camp, but today he's shaken my faith tremendously. This switch today in the fan base, or at least in our viewership, is next level. Like, it has switched literally in one performance. Thank you, Kev, for that. Darren, straight up, Nuno out with the 199.
That was the message. That was the message I sent to him.
The exact message I got on WhatsApp from one certain individual. Shout out to you, Darren. Nice and to the point. And Frederick with the 65 says the only positive is the grandchild now understand this make a Forest, man. Like, yeah, like, it depends on your age, but however long if you've been supporting Forest for like over 20 years, you've seen this heartache time and time again. And Brucey, shout out to Brucey with the 199. Does MGW on the bench next match make him earn his spot? I wouldn't even put him in the squad. I'm that pissed off at him. I wouldn't put him in the squad.
Left. Still time left. Quick call to Tottenham. 35 million.
Yeah. 35 million. You can get that much for him.
Well,
I don't know.
Maybe not. But we could. Yeah, but it's Tottenham. We can fleece them.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Brucey, for the 199. And my boy, Scottish Forest guy with the £2 says it's fairly obvious Nuno doesn't want to be here. I like, just to add to what you've just said there, I quickly saw his press. I don't know if it's a match of the day one or a BBC one. They asked him the question, do you still want to be here or do you still want to be around? And he went, yeah, of course I do. And then he does that smile that's really starting to annoy me. Is that smile? Of course, of course.
No, I've got to stop you. He has got a lovely smile.
It's starting to annoy me, man. I can't lie to you. Bonjour, happy 2-year anniversary on Ant's birthday. Big up to you. And in terms of the likes, guys, we are sitting on 95 likes of 500 in here. Come on, guys, what are you doing, man? You can do better than that. I'm meant to be picking my brother up right now, right? So you have to hit the like button because I'm going to be
celebrating my birthday.
Exactly. All right. Carlos.
Yep.
How are you, my guy?
I mean, I think I'm the same as everyone else. I am fucking fuming. That was a shit show today. Absolute shit show. I mean, it was a Nuno masterclass of what he does sometimes. Makes no changes in the game until it's too fucking late. I mean, you find me a Forest fan or even a football fan that would not have hooked MGW at halftime. He was appalling. He was actually better defensively for West Ham than West Ham were for themselves. He stopped more attacks that we were trying to make than West Ham did. You know, he was that bad today. And, you know, the first change Nuno makes is he takes Ndoye off for McAtee. When Ndoye, I would actually argue that Ndoye was playing better than Chow because Chow was shit today as well. He was terrible. He was rubbish. He should have been the first. What he should have done at that moment in time was he should have took MGW off, brought McAtee on in the middle, and then also brought Hutchinson on, but then swapped Ndoye onto the left. Because look at what Ndoye did last game on the left. He was much better than he was on the right. Because Choi wasn't very good today either. He wasn't very good at all. And like,
on the right.
What I don't get is like Nuno can sit there in interviews and slag the Marinakis off, saying, you know, he hasn't backed him in the transfer market, basically. You know, he needed all these players. We weren't ready. We ain't got no depth. We get those players in, and he does nothing with them. Yeah. He's doing nothing with them.
He's running out of excuses.
Yeah, there is no excuses for today. That defeat is on Nuno. West Ham were there for the taking. Yeah, they came here. They sat and they played a low block, but we did nothing. I can't remember a single decent chance. Maybe Wood just after halftime if we're being desperate. But we didn't create anything. And it was mostly down to Morgan Gibbs-White just being that greedy school kid, you know, at school, just trying to do little flicks and tricks all the time and not coming off. How many times did he pass to nobody in that game today?
Every time.
It was either to nobody or just not quite right to somebody. He was terrible. And also, this whole thing about Sangare being the answer in midfield is a load of bullshit as well. He is not good enough for the Premiership. On the ball, he's fine. Not amazing, he is fine. You know, look at today when we was like building up.
Sorry, who's he talking about? I missed that. Sorry, mate.
Sangare. He's not good enough for the Premiership. He's fine on the ball, But whenever the opponents have got the ball, he just gets bypassed. The first goal, he was bypassed completely. He was nowhere. And then look at the penalty. He hasn't got the pace. He's like an oil tanker in midfield. Anyone can go past him. He's not the answer in our midfield. He shouldn't have been on the pitch in the second half. Luis should have come on. Why is Nuno not playing Douglas Luiz? What's going on there? Right, and it can't be. You can't give me this whole thing about we've only just signed him. He's only just at the club. Look at West Ham; they've got Fernandes in the team. They only signed him 3 days ago.
Yep.
He had a great game.
Why is he on the bench? Why is he on the bench?
And if he's not fit enough, why is he even on the bench? It was pathetic. The subs today were a joke, absolute joke. You've got Calimundo on the bench. He gets 10 minutes at the end, and that was only because we had 9 minutes added on. He's not making. Nuno has always been like this. He doesn't make subs. He doesn't make changes. He's just so passive. He just lets the game go by. He doesn't make subs until it's too late. And he did that again today. But I feel like today there was a lot of petulance in it because he's clearly fallen out with Maradona. Like you know my feelings on the earner. Like I'm not his biggest fan, but I do get what he's doing, and he's not responsible for any of this. But what he is responsible for is not getting rid of Nuno, because Nuno's got to go. He's got to go after today. You can't spend 150 odd million or however much we've spent and not use those weapons on the bench. You can't. They're there to change the game. Everyone could see that we were being completely overrun in midfield. West Ham had 4 people in midfield. And he did nothing about it. He did nothing about it.
Yep.
He just let Morgan Gibbs-White just carry on doing his same bullshit tricks and flicks. He's now got this stupid license to do what he wants and gets as much game time as he wants. He should have been subbed off. He's still a good player. He is still a good player, but he needs to be managed properly. When he's crap, he needs to be taken off and he needs to be benched. And we've got McAtee now. Mm-hmm. McAtee is a replacement for him. You could even argue Hutchinson is as well. He's a winger stroke number 10. So there is no argument now for Morgan Gibbs-White to be playing. He should be dropped from the team now. He should be dropped. He should still be on the bench, but he should be dropped. He's not above the team.
Newsflash. Palace have just gone 1-up over Villa away.
Didn't give a shit.
I couldn't either, but other people might.
Carl, can I just throw that back at you, though? I mean, there's a lot of hindsight here because Gibbs-White was man of the match in the first home game against Brentford. So he's gone from hero to hero.
Yeah,
I know, but what I'm saying is that last home game, he was our best player, and today he was our worst player. Now, I mean, how was anybody supposed to see that coming? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but Rob, you see it at half time.
You can watch the first half and see how bad he is.
Yeah, agree. I agree with you there. I agree with you there.
That doesn't need hindsight, does it? That just needs you just got eyes and you watch the first half. Whether you're at the game or you watch it on TV, he was crap.
The problem Nuno's got is he's got 30,000 Forest fans plus everyone watching at home and around the world who can all see it. And the only person who can't see it is Nuno himself. We've sat here for 2 years and we've said 2 things consistently. 1, Morgan Gibbs-White is undroppable. The club have said it. The club have literally said, we want to build the squad around Morgan Gibbs-White. Why? If he's not in form like today, he needs taken out the team. You can't leave him. When he didn't come off at half time, I was fuming. And I thought, right, Nuno's going to take him off really late, 70th minute, like he usually does. He stayed on the whole game.
Yeah.
He was crap. And I don't blame Morgan Gibbs-White because every player can have a good and bad game, right? I'm not blaming MGW. I'm blaming the person who needs to manage him. Nuno is the manager of the squad. He needs to put the best players on the pitch. He sat there crying in a Sky interview 3 weeks ago, saying, "Oh, I don't have the player, I don't have the backup on the bench that I want." You've got 150 fucking million pounds worth of players on the bench now, and you don't play them. Calimundo and Hutchinson came on in the 89th minute. 89th minute. We had 1 minute of remaining time, and they came on at 2-0 down. And quite frankly, I'm sick of it. And the thing is that it's not changing. That's the problem. We can sit here and we can say, give Nuno another game, give him another 3 games, see if he improves. This thing with late substitutions has never, ever changed. It's always been the problem. It's late subs every single game. He refuses to bring on impactful players. He keeps people on the pitch who are his busy mates, like MGW, thinking they're going to pull something out their arse, and they're not. And I'm quite frankly, I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it.
I won't be surprised, though, Crypto. I won't be surprised, right, if he's got it in his contract now that he has to play or something. I would not be surprised.
It's always player. It's always too late. It's too late every single game. Morgan Gibbs-White is the first name on the team sheet. And the problem is, when we talk about it, it sounds like we're singling MGW out, and that's not what I'm trying to do, because a lot of the other players today were crap as well. But the fact is, he doesn't change it. He never changes it up. And even if you win every game, even if you have a decent game with the same team, you've got to do something tactically different, because otherwise the other team are just going to work you out. And you could see from today's game the impact that a single player has on the game. Look at Paqueta. Look at Somerville. Look how they played today. That one person in that team changed their whole game. And we are so set on putting Morgan Gibbs-White in there for the whole 90 minutes to run around, pass to no one, do stupid flicks and tricks. And you've got all these brilliant young players sat on the bench who we've brought in because Nuno was fucking crying 2 weeks ago. So we brought them in for Nuno, and he sits them on the bench. It's sick. I tell you what, if I was manager today, we wouldn't have fucking lost 3-0.
I tell you what, Crypto, I think what it is, the big problem is we get particularly disappointed with Morgan Gibbs-White because they keep telling us that they're going to build a team around him. And if they're building a team around a player that we can see is playing badly, that causes a great problem. And it looks worse on him. If he was a normal sort of squad player that was in and out as normal, we'd think he were great. Oh, yeah, it's great. As a bad off, take him off. All right, no problem. But they've made it that he's the man we're building the team around. So he has to be good every game. That's the problem.
And it's not just that, Anne. It's the fact that we've now made him the most expensively paid player at Forest. He's been upgraded to captain. 150k a week. There are not many players in the Premier League outside of the Big Six who are earning that much money. I think Bruno Guimaraes is the biggest paid player outside the Big Six, and he's on 165k. So you've now got Gibbs-White.
I think Tottenham might have a couple as well.
Huh?
I think Tottenham might have a couple as well.
Yeah, you can argue if you want to class them as Big Six or not, right? But
exactly.
My point
stands, they're no Big Six.
Okay, but you get my point, right? If you are bringing him up to this 150k category, then he needs to be scrutinized like a 150k player would. Because I don't see performances like that from Bruno Guimaraes consistently. I would
but
Bruno
today's not an MG Dub problem. Today's a Nuno problem. Full on Nuno problem. We didn't. We didn't deserve.
You know what?
Sorry, go on.
Right. Sorry. That's on Nuno today, right? Because he should have took MG off for his own benefit. You know, he as a good manager, he should have been realizing that he was playing so badly. I need to take him off to protect him. And he didn't.
You're right.
Well, not only that,
MG Dub isn't the problem. The problem is Nuno. Let me just say,
he was too easy.
Let him have a go. Let him go because he's not spoken yet.
We didn't deserve anything out of today. And Rob alluded it to it earlier, and exactly what I was thinking. It reminded me so much of the Everton game towards the end of last season. They absolutely, the professional performance from them. They did what they needed to do, and they waited for us to basically tire. Nuno did exactly what Nuno does. Today was a textbook example of everything that's wrong with Nuno, and his excuses aren't there anymore. You know, he's got the bench, he's got the quality players to make a change. He's not an attacking manager. He does not know how to play attacking football. And for me, and we haven't said it outright ourselves yet, but the chat have said it. Nuno's gone for me. Nuno, I don't see him surviving this meeting with Marinakis and Edu based on today, because everything today highlighted everything that's wrong with Nuno's tactics and the way he plays. He had every opportunity to make the changes, to make impactful changes, to look for the win. We didn't look like we were going for the win. We looked like we would have been happy with a 0-0, and that was exactly the game plan that we walked into. And Potter actually ruled him today, because everything he did, but his substitutions were impactful. They made a difference. Again, like you guys had mentioned, Somerville was absolutely fantastic when he came on. His pace at the right time, at the right place, caught us out. He contributed 2 of their goals as soon as he's come on. And that capitulation, 3 goals in less than 10 minutes. What are we doing? What are we doing? So everything today is on Nuno. Yeah, the players were bad, but it's on Nuno to make those changes, and he's got no more excuses. With the bench he had today, with the bench he's going to have by the end of this transfer window, because it will still be adding to it, he's got no excuses. And if he can't deal with it in this situation at home against a team that were in the mud, he's not going to get a better chance. So for me, I think, I'm sorry, it's bye-bye Nuno. I'm done.
The problem is that once they go 1-0 up, you're chasing the game. And I know you just said that we didn't look like we should have got anything out of today's game. The first half, although there was zero energy and it was walking pace, we did control that first half. We had nearly 70% possession. What should have happened?
We did nothing with it.
We did nothing with it.
Nothing happened because at half time,
it was exactly what they wanted.
Yes, but at half time, Nuno should have taken off the shitters, put on some of the new lads, and got the game won. That's what should have happened.
Exactly.
He doesn't do it.
No, he doesn't.
He just expects that the players on the pitch, who are already looking crap in the first 45 minutes, will somehow magically pull something out of their arse and go on to win the game.
Do you hear his BBC
interview? I heard his interview after.
It starts before that.
Well, he said, hang on, just for people who didn't, he said, basically, it was a shit first half. I told the players they had to turn it around and do better in the second half, and they didn't.
So he should have made a change. He should have forced the change.
Right.
He's the manager.
Hold on. Time out.
He's the manager. You can't just blame the players. He is the manager. If the players on the pitch look shit, drag them off the fucking field and put someone on who wants to play there. And the fact we spent 150 million suggests that maybe some of them are half decent.
Yeah. Right, Rob, I'm bringing you in next, but I have to catch up with the super chats. Guys, make sure you've hit the like button. We got coming up to 600 in here and 171 likes. Hit the like button. We're getting all the raw emotion from the boys. Like, it is what it is.
Just one point before you bring Rob in. Today, Anne was there. I don't know who else was there from our lot at the game, but today was the first time I noticed the fans get on the players' backs, especially just before half time. I think we had a minute of play right deep in their half, and the fans were on their back. Get the ball in the box, do something with it. We got a minute to go.
Oh, it was terrible, Ed.
Yeah, it's terrible. And that's the first time in a long time I've seen the fans do that, and they did that just into the second half as well. So the fans were fed up with it. Fans knew what needed to change, and they didn't make the changes at halftime. Sorry, go on.
You're absolutely spot on. Ed. The ball, we'd be on the halfway line, the ball would go backwards, and the fans were, and it's the first time since we've been promoted, the first time for as long as I can remember, the ground was literally half empty at the end.
Yeah, it was.
I noticed that. I noticed that on 88 minutes on TV.
Mr. Marinakis, in fact, even Mr. Marinakis left before the end.
Oh yeah, he left ready.
That's embarrassing, though. I have to say. Right. I mean,
let me just do the super chats, and then we'll continue with the conversation. Scottish Forest guy with the £2. He says it's fairly obvious Nuno doesn't want to be here. I think it's crystal clear in that interview what Ant was referring to, because he went on to say, and I think this is quite damning. He goes, after that result, it doesn't make it as easy. He's in reference to the interview. I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember exactly what he said, but clearly there's a discussion that's about to happen.
To me, it's almost like suggesting he's lost a dressing room, which we all know is an absolute finisher for a manager.
I think he split the dressing room. I think he's splitting the dressing room. My guys, not my guys. Anyway, Matt with the 199 says Cloughy would fine every flick and in incomplete pass. Yeah, the legend would, wouldn't he?
Fact.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, since he's signed that new contract, he's doing it more? The flicks and the tricks. Have you noticed he seems to be doing it a bit more than usual?
I think he's trying to.
He's always
in the Brentford game, he did it in the right places, though. He did do it in the right place in the Brentford game. It was obviously the mistake at Palace, and today he was just awful generally.
Well, he did try one. He did try one just outside the West Ham box. It went wrong, and I said to my brother, "says at least he's losing it there and not the other end."
We've got to be fair, though. It wasn't just MGW today. I thought Aina today was completely.
Yeah, I don't know why Rob said he played well. He was shocking.
I didn't have a problem with Aina. I didn't have a problem with
it. Crosses were atrocious.
I don't know what his crosses were poor, but it's not
And he played with no energy. He was
There's
playing
no
at
energy
walking
in the whole
pace
team.
whole game.
Look,
He was
The whole
walking,
game
mate.
was
He was just walking.
Maybe
energy.
I'm blinded by my love for him, but I didn't think he was the worst player on the pitch by a long
He was up
chalk.
there. He was
He
up
wasn't
there.
the worst.
Also,
but the team
also,
energy
maybe,
was down.
also, maybe if he had a decent right winger at the time, he could have passed the ball to the right winger.
Yeah.
But he wasn't
Again, the
even
only one
overlapping
who
the
holds his
winger.
head up high is Nico Williams. He's the only one from today.
Yeah, but that's
I
the same
put-
every game. That's the same every
Smells as
game.
well.
Aina put plenty of
That's
cross
why,
at him.
that's
but
why
they
I've
were
got a
all
picture
headed
of him
out.
on my display profile.
No,
Look.
no.
Yeah, that was the pep
I
talk.
know he only had a tiniest, and you may disagree, and you're quite welcome to. I would understand why, but I thought McAtee in that little cameo was again looked a class player.
Yeah.
He's better than Gibbs
Silky
White at the
touches and
moment.
everything were
Have you
great.
finished with the super chats?
No, I
yet?
haven't even started with him.
Right,
Right, you
carry
lot silence, right?
Rob's boiling up.
There's
Rob's
loads.
boiling up.
Rich with the 199. He says, "Crypto, are you getting the Rob T-shirt for next score?" Thank you for this.
I don't know what
reminder,
you're talking
because
about.
Ben said that there's no way we lose to Palace, and he did this as a super chat. Yes,
didn't.
and he goes, and if we lose to not to Palace, to West Ham, he is gonna have.
Yeah, it's Palace, yeah.
T-shirt.
Nice, yeah, they know.
Thought
Harry,
we could have
just,
a Rob
you
face
just
on.
reminded me. I said if we lose
No,
to Palace,
no, you
I'll,
said West
I'll wear
Ham.
Rob's
I've got
face
the
on my
receipt.
t-shirt, but we
So let's
didn't.
see if he's a man of his word. I want to see Rob. I'll tell you what. I'll even put one on the score.
Crypto,
for you.
wasn't it a face mask? A Rob face mask you were wearing?
Well, as Wolfie just said, I specifically said if we lose to Palace, I'll wear a Rob
No,
t-shirt.
you
No, West Ham.
No,
West
we've
Ham.
got it.
No,
Super
you
chat,
Wolfie
bro.
clarified it for everyone right there.
Shall I bring the super chat up?
Let's
No.
do it.
Shall I do it? Because
I know Twist is good with Photoshop. I know what you guys
I
can
don't know if I authorize use of my image rights.
Well, Rob, hold your horses. Wait till he does it and then sue him.
All right, it's in our group chat. All right.
I am
do that,
so
Rob. Don't do that.
confident that we will win today that if we lose, I will wear a picture with Rob's face on it on the next score. Hashtag
Who said
wicked.
that?
Hashtag the WKD.
Hashtag WKD.
Here it is.
Rich,
That's not my-
best super
that's not-
chat of the night.
That's
Best
not my
super chat.
profile. That's not my profile picture.
Yeah.
That's my profile picture.
All right. £2 here saying at the end of the day, we always win. LOL. I had to take the t-shirt off.
We always lose.
I had to take
It's
the
not the
t-shirt
end
off.
of the day yet, mate. The end of the day comes at the end of the season when you count our trophies. All right.
Be zero. That's you, Mark.
What's up with you?
I'm
Chess,
pissed
man.
off.
Chess. Lie about it. And then when the end of the season comes, we hide for a bit.
Mate, you haven't seen my WhatsApp.
Fake news.
Like,
exactly.
seriously, I can't even get through the messages.
I thought about you, mate. I thought today at the match.
I am so thankful to my brother.
Poor old Wolfie's got to go on. Oh, he's got to face all these people. Oh,
I'm
Can you
so
imagine
lucky that I have to
Jason
pick my brother up.
Lawless and
So
Cass
lucky.
and oh god, they're all
They're
So I
all
did think about
circling.
it.
Mark with the £5 says, "Ant out." Oh, I like it. I'll be at the
Yeah.
usual meeting place outside the fan zone if anyone fancies a chat. Tom and I stood there like a prize pair of lemons.
All right, Mark, look at your text message, your WhatsApp messages. I said, oops, sorry, I'm a bit late. I'll be there in 10 minutes. That was at 20 to 3. Sorry, guys. You don't tell that because I made Joe feel bad because she didn't meet me because she was late, and I made her feel bad. I've not told her that I was late as well.
All right. I got so many to get through here. Steve with the £5 says, "I'll even take Ange if it means attacking football." Steve, I'm pretty much nearly there. Yeah, I'm just thinking as well, man. We must have a manager that embraces the whole squad. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Nismos with the 499 says, "There is no identity. It's all relied on individual moments. Every top team has patterns of play. He out of his depth when it comes to possession system." Yeah, I think we were catfished, Mark style, from Brentford. I think so many people were catfished from the Brentford performance. I really do. Shout out to you for the 499. Big up to Greg becoming a new member. Shout out to you. Jess with the £5 says, "Nope, he doesn't deserve another game. I've said this many times today, but he threw us under the bus for a payout by Nuno." Well, and she would have said that in an Irish accent as well, and it would have been really scary.
What she have said, top of the morning. No, he doesn't deserve another
Good
game.
morning to you.
Shout out to you, Jess. Frederick with the 27 says, quote, "Clough, players lose matches, not tactics."
Yeah. Yeah, well, obviously, if your players are shit, then it doesn't matter what your tactics are. But if your players are decent and you've got good tactics, you'll win, won't you?
Shout out to you, Kev with the 499. Has any manager
do.
ever made a successful transition from defensive-minded to attack-minded football? I
Nope.
don't know. You
Nope.
know the one. Do you remember when
Nope.
Stoke did it? They sacked Pulis and they brought in. Was it Mark Hughes? Even when you change the manager to change the style, and then I think they pretty much got relegated that year or the year after.
There was another one as well, really quite recently, where it might even be Moyes. It might even be Moyes at West Ham. I know it's a sore
He tried
subject
it at Man
today,
U.
but-
He tried it at Man U, didn't he? Yeah. Jess with another £2. She goes, I don't want to see him in the dugout again. She's
We get it,
fuming,
Jess, we
man.
get it.
She's fuming. Jess, you knew that in or out? Oh, it's not clear enough. Chris with the £2 says, cheers, Nuno, but it's time for the special on Ez's boy. It's time for Ez's boy.
No.
And then last one, and we'll get back to the discussion. Stephen with the £5 says that's the worst performance since promotion relative to expectation and quality of opposition. Embarrassing from Nuno. Needs/wants his own sacking. Do you know what? That's such a well articulated line. Relative to the expectation and quality of opponents. Because I think I saw you tweeting it, Carlos. The remember where we were 5 years ago? That one. Yeah, I'm expecting a few of those to come out.
Yeah.
Or people need to remember.
We can lose today because look where we was 5 years ago. I'm sick of hearing that all the time.
Yeah, me too, mate. Me too.
Sick of it.
Yeah.
But then people are now saying, "Oh, you can't criticize Nuno because look at what he did last season." It's the same. It's the same principle.
Hey, look what happened today. Look where we were 50 years ago.
40
champions of Europe, mate. So if you're gonna, how far back do you want to go?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Look where we were 30 years ago, third in the league.
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt now?
Yes, Rob, you can now speak. Before you do, we've got over 600 odds in here, 200 likes. You guys are hitting the like button lower than Nuno makes his subs, right? So get those likes. So we need to get to 250. We are so close to 30,000 subscribers. Shout out to all of you. Pretty much coming up to 29.9. So shout out to everyone who's subscribed. Rob, it's all yours.
Right. So I've been making notes over the last 15 minutes, and hopefully this comes into a proper stream of consciousness. So we've been talking about Nuno's reactivity and lack of subs. I think it starts before a ball is kicked today, because who would not have bet their house on him picking the same 11? Right? He's so damn predictable. So despite the fact that we've got all of these new players, Louise has had a week to bed in. Anybody that knows anything about Forest would have been absolutely certain that he's going to pick the same 11. So what happened to ambiguity? You know, because if the opposition manager turns up knowing exactly what tactic he's facing and exactly which players he's facing, it makes his job a hell of a lot easier, doesn't it? Right? So it starts before a ball is kicked. And we know that Nuno likes picking the same 11 week in, week out. And there are some advantages to that, because you get like a kind of muscle memory, or you get stronger bonds between the players, etc. We all know the positives. But last year, we thought that he was doing that because we had a weak bench, right? But now we don't have a weak bench, and he's still doing it, right?
Yeah, but he hasn't got his Adama Traore, Rob.
But this is leading me to now suspect that the reason we didn't make signings in January was Nuno, right?
Yeah, me.
I am starting to think that he is the reason that we didn't make signings in January, right? And if that is the case, I'm holding him responsible. I'm holding him responsible for what happened in the last third of last season. Because somebody said it in the chat.
And Lemmy.
We've been shit since April. Now, you see, I'm bringing up April's results here. You know, we beat Man U 1-0 at the start, which was the most unbalanced win I've ever seen. But then, you know, we've lost away to Villa. We've lost at home to Everton. Then we'd go on to lose at home to Brentford. And I was thinking, he's lost it. And I looked at him in that Leicester game and in the Chelsea game, and I thought, has he lost it? Then we had that Brentford game, and it looked like we'd had a reboot. Yeah? It looked like we'd had a reboot, and we could put that all behind us. But now I'm starting to feel that we're back in April or May again. I don't know what's coming, but I know that we've got Arsenal next game, and I'm not at all optimistic about it. Yeah. So has he lost it? And I think Ant said, has he lost the dressing room? And the point is that if he only has half the dressing room because the new players don't owe him anything, or he's not bothered to even see what they can do, then he has lost a dressing room, because the dressing room is made up of a lot of players that he didn't ask for and clearly doesn't want. So he is making himself untenable. And the point is that either he or Edu is going to go, right? That's the only way this can be resolved. So which one do you think it's going to be? Because Edu's arrived. He
won't get rid of Edu, because Edu manages multiple different clubs.
Yeah,
he's not going to get rid of someone who overlooks multiple different things just for one coaching job.
And he's done a bloody good job as well. Don't forget,
right? John, I just finished. So I hate changing manager, and I get sentimental because the problem is I've seen Forest change manager twice a year for 20 years, and it got us in a hell of a mess, right? Yep. But the point is that the way
who did you support?
The way the club has been designed now is that the players and their contracts last longer than the coaches, right? So that the club, and it's actually the way the Premier League is now. You don't get a Wenger or a Ferguson hanging around for a decade and a half. It just doesn't work like that anymore. So the thing is, I don't really want Nuno to go, but if he was trying to piss me off, he would be doing all the things he's doing now, right? I'm finding it very hard to defend him.
Rob, just to clarify, you said you've been supporting Forest for 20 years. Who did you support?
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I've been supporting Forest since you were a fetus, all right? Okay,
that's not what you just said. That's not what you just said.
No, all right, you need to pick up on pointless things. All right, look, there's a lot in what you say that I do agree with. There's only one winner in this battle. It will be Edu. He's not going to do it. I just, what you said about him splitting the dressing room, losing the dressing room, I don't actually believe he has. I think he's doing it. It's not like, when someone loses the dressing room, it's because a sect of the players will be like, this manager is clueless. This manager doesn't know what he's doing. I don't think anyone thinks that of Nuno in the dressing room. I think he's saying, I don't want him, therefore you go in the naughty corner. I don't want you, you're on the naughty step. Yeah. And that will create a split, but it's not driven by the normal procedures of, do you get what, I don't know if I'm making sense, but normally it would be, oh, we're losing. Oh, this is the manager's tactics. It's him trying to do this.
The way to simplify it is to say that basically anyone who's brought in Edu, anyone who's Edu has brought in, go over there, and anyone who I actually wanted can come into my team effectively.
Yeah, we don't think Douglas Luiz been given a start, hasn't he?
Yeah, but why is Douglas Luiz? The thing I don't understand about Douglas Luiz is every game since he's joined, Nuno's had him running up and down the touchline, warming up for 45 minutes, but he doesn't put him on. I don't understand it. It's almost. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's almost like he's doing it on purpose to make a point.
And what does that say?
It could look like that if one were.
That's what it looks like to me.
What does that say to other players that we're potentially going to sign?
Yeah, I mean, Jack
put players off, innit? He's going to put players off. They're thinking, I'm not even going to get a game. Why bother coming anymore?
Yeah, I don't think it's as extreme as it was under Cooper, because Cooper would come out and say, yeah, we've got a great dressing room, we've got a great camaraderie behind the scenes. And actually, that wasn't the case. He was causing division. And I think Nuno is going down that line. And I think that's what Wolfie was alluding to. Any division that's being caused is being caused by Nuno. Yep. Not by the players necessarily, and certainly not by the management team. But we've been discussing it over the last couple of weeks, obviously, since his press conferences and his comments. But he is making himself untenable. Today's performance didn't help him in the least bit. And if anybody's looking at that from an outsider's point of view, the players that have come in, there's not a single manager available that wouldn't look at those signings and think, right, I can do something with those players. So he's been given an absolute treasure chest of players that he can do a lot of things with. There's a lot of versatility within those players as well. He's not stuck to any system. He's got various systems he can play with those players, and he's digging his heels in and sticking to Nuno ball, as we've called it. Now, Nuno ball isn't going to progress us. We've said this. We've alluded to it for the last 6 or 7 months. That we're going to get called out at some point with the system. Now, he tried to change it, and maybe Brentford was a bit of a flash in the pan, but we saw a lot of positives in that game. But against the Brentford team that were freaking awful,
Yeah, but West Ham were awful, Ez.
They were,
awful.
but today they were properly clued in. Every player did his job. The deputy.
They did a Forest on us. Literally, they
Well,
put
we
11
found
men
out
behind the
really,
ball.
but
We
the
found
players
out
that
things
came
in.
in, he's just bought that Mateus Fernandez from Southampton. He's come in.
He
and
played
hit the
well,
ground
yeah.
running.
Yeah,
He was
he's good.
fantastic.
Quetta played really well.
Yeah, he did.
Paqueta, another one who's they're talking about he's gonna go.
Yeah.
I'd hold on to him for everything he's worth.
as well.
Jared Bowen is one of the
Yeah.
most
He's
underrated
a
players,
staff,
and he's
mate.
an
He's
absolute legend.
really good. And Jess called him shit in the Discord, by the way.
And
There's
Jess
one.
was
There's one, and Jess doesn't know what she's talking about. There's one thing that I think Nuno can't accept, and it is probably not what happened last year. And he hinted at it in his interview. Clearly, last year Nuno was effectively the manager and decision maker. Now Edu has been brought in to run the clubs, overlook recruitment, etc., which is how a proper football club is run. I don't think Nuno can accept that he is a coach. He is not the manager of Nottingham Forest. He is a coach of the players. The management and the directors bring in the players. They give you a squad and they say, coach these guys and try as win as football games. And I don't think Nuno likes that. I think Nuno wants to have the final say on who he's coaching, who's
He
in
wants
his
to have
team,
the
who he
old-fashioned
wants to
idea,
bring in.
doesn't he?
He
What
wants
a manager
everything.
used to
He
be.
wants the world in his hands. And because he hasn't got it, he's throwing his toys out the pram. And like I say, I think that for not putting Douglas Luiz on, I literally think it's a point he's proving. He's saying, this isn't my guy. I didn't want him, but I'm the coach,
Well,
so
we don't
I'll do
want
what I
something like
want.
that, do we?
You can bring in your £35 million Callum Wendy striker. I'll give him 1 minute at the end of the match when we're 2-0 down.
You know
Also,
what?
Nuno's got previous for this, hasn't he? He did this at Wolves, and he did this in Saudi as well. He fell out with the management at both clubs, and it ended one way. And this is how it's going to end with Forest. He just falls out with the management.
Just one more point. I wanted to just say quickly. Hopefully, the person who needed medical attention earlier, hopefully they were all right. I'm not sure what happened, but hopefully they were okay.
Well, yeah, it seemed to be at the ground. It seemed to be attended to well because the paramedics didn't even go over there.
No, the Forest medical staff didn't. Yeah.
Forest physio went over. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
All right, so where
No,
are we now?
I was talking to my brother today, and before the game, I mean, this is how much of a bad display it was, and maybe it's reactive. We are football fans after all. We're not, professional journalists and broadcasters. But before the game, we both said, "Yeah, I want Nuno to say." And afterwards, both of us were, "He's got to go. He's got to go."
No, I think that's a mindset with a lot of the fans now. After that, I don't think he
It's
can.
like the final
say
straw, isn't it, Ez?
It is. It's the straw that broke the camel's back. I think. I think there's a lot of things that we've criticized about Nuno. There's a lot we've liked about him as well, but his limitations were shown today, and he can't use the excuse of not having the players.
If we can lose a game like that,
one time too many, hasn't it? That he's not changed his tactics. He's not brought on substitutes in plenty of time to affect the game. It's just one match too many. And when it's against a team like West Ham, it's even more stark.
That's the point, right? If we can lose a game like that, which we are so fated to win, everything was in our favour. All the new signings, their start to the season, our start to the season. If we can. And we've always beaten them at the City Ground. We beat them the last time we played them.
2011 was the last time they beat us.
So if we can lose a game that badly that we are so fated to win, I don't feel safe with Nuno. I don't feel safe. And that's the problem. You want to feel safe, don't you? It's like, for example, if you turn up and your opponent is Crystal Palace and you're at the City Ground, you think, well, we won't lose. You need to feel safe. And it's like, honestly, that started to go for me after that bloody Everton game.
Yeah,
that's what
it reminded me of today. But you kind of alluded to it. But that capitulation as well, maybe that is a sign of him losing the dressing room. For us to capitulate the way we did in that short amount of time, players not doing their jobs, letting players run off them, dangling a leg out, that lazy dangling of a leg from Sangare, which I could see from a mile away he was going to do. It's just,
It wasn't.
That's just Sangare though. That isn't Sangare not playing for Nuno. That's just Sangare. He's not as good as what
we know
everyone
you've got an
thinks he is.
agenda, Carl.
You've got an agenda, Carl.
Yeah, but the thing is, we
No,
don't
he's
want to be
not.
losing. We
He's
don't want
not.
to be losing
He is.
to Burnley and Leeds.
Carly.
Next thing we could be losing
One
to
at a time,
Burnley
one at a
and Leeds and stuff like that. That's unacceptable, right? We thought that we'd got to a certain level in the Premier League where fixtures like today, we should be able to just grind them out. Yeah.
Yeah, but today was different because it wasn't just a capitulation. We came out and looked crap from the get-go. We had no energy. The players who are normally solid for us had no energy. It was a lackluster first half performance. We managed to get through it 0-0, and then he didn't change anything. I mean, it's shocking. It's shocking management. It's shocking.
It's not even that. I was just gonna say the passing from both teams in that first half
so bad
wasn't even befitting of championship level. Both teams. All it needed, I said it during the watch night. I was like, if Forest just took the initiative and could string passes together for 5 minutes, one goal, West Ham are done. They're done. Correct. They're not going to come back into it. But there was no energy or urgency at all.
That again comes back that everything seems to go through MGW. And if MGW is not having a good day, and I'm not blaming him because a player's not going to play good every game, but if MGW is not having a good day, he's got to be taken off the pitch because everything seems to go through him. And he almost demands it when he's on the pitch. You can see him get frustrated if people don't pass to him.
There was a small part in the second half. I don't know if you remember it. Probably lasted 5 minutes where we actually went on the attack and we started bombarding them and stuff. And we're thinking, yes, this is it. This is what we want. And I say it lasted 5 or 10 minutes, then stopped. Hang on, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, before the game, Charlie and I were discussing staying in Malaga and going to Seville for the Real Betis game. It's going to cost 700 or 800 quid. And after the game, you think, do I really want to spend 800 quid to watch us away at Betis when that could happen? I
was just going to make a point. Yeah, I forgot what it was. I just want to ask, right? Carlos, you're talking about Sangare. I agree. He had an absolute stinker in the second half. I thought he was okay in the first half. Second half, stinker. My question is, who's our six if Sangare is not playing?
I think... Well, with what we've got now, it's going to have to be, for me, should be a midfield of Anderson and Louise. And not necessarily a designated six. They kind of both do the role.
I was going to say Yates.
No, not Yates. Not Yates.
I was waiting.
Look, like I said earlier, Sangare is fine on the ball. And you just said he was all right in the first half. It's because we had a lot of possession in the first half. And West Ham didn't really come at us that much in the first half, so Sangare didn't get found out at that point. But second half, when they came at us more, you can just see he gets past so easy. I think the Premiership's just too fast for him. He's fine in the Dutch league, and we all saw him in the Dutch league and how good he was. But and to be fair, right, he probably might be all right in the European games.
Yeah,
because the European games are a little bit slower, aren't they? So he could probably be a good weapon to have available for the European games. But I think for the Premiership, we need somebody who's a little bit more dynamic than he is defensively. He just gets past too easy. It's just too slow.
Yeah. And even he's 50-50.
If you don't have him as a six and you have a double pivot, we're going back to being more defensive, aren't we? Unless you've got two players that are really athletic and get up and down the pitch, which you could argue we do have.
Yeah, with Luis
more defensive setup than a number 6 and 2 8s, 2 10s, 1 8, 1 10, whichever way you want to go.
Yeah, but I think it's a bit harsh on Sangare because Sangare, prior to this game, has looked the best in pre-season.
Yeah, I'm okay with Sangare.
I think Sangare's looked pretty good. The problem for me is the management. If Sangare is having a bad game, if MGW is having a bad game, get him off the pitch, get someone on the pitch who can control the play. That's the problem.
It's the midfield. Listen, what we talked about since we got promoted. We're supposed to be winning this midfield battle. This is why we got these players in. And again, today we lost that midfield battle. Carlos is right. Too many times he lost 50-50s. And they were coming out on top. And I was like, come on, Sangare, you're a tough, strong 6 foot plus man. You shouldn't be barged through so easily. Anderson was the only one who seems to be winning any tackles in that midfield. The rest of them are getting bypassed. And again, we're not strong enough. And I'm sorry, Sangare just wasn't good enough today. He will be better in other games, but today he wasn't good enough. And that was against a midfield that we should have tried to dominate, and we didn't.
Can I just say, I don't think that our midfield was the problem regarding defence. The fact of the matter is, we were shit going forward.
Yeah, we didn't have any.
I don't know what the percentages were regarding possession, but down at the ground, it certainly felt like
it was 66% in the first half.
Yeah, so we had by far and away the most possession.
Yeah.
So our problem to me, I know holding. I'm not ignoring that fact, but my problem to me was we were shit going forward from midfield, not defensively.
Well, it almost looked like a pre-season game where we had no shot on target again.
I was just thinking that.
It reminded me of
pre-season games.
Yeah, it reminded me of, and the energy of it again was like a pre-season game.
Oh yeah,
I don't understand. Yeah. Clearly, something happened before the match where the players weren't up for it. Maybe they got complacent. Maybe they thought, oh, it's West Ham, we're better than their shit.
Yeah.
And in reality, their manager made some good tactical changes to find us out, and they obviously won 3-0.
Even to his formation, because they normally play wing backs, don't they? They normally play three back with wing backs. He went with a back four today, and 3 in midfield. Those 3 in midfield, and that's including Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
When they had when the ball was on the ground, they were beating us, but we were trying to bypass them. That first half, how many balls did we try to do over top? And why was I asking for a fast central striker? We're trying to put balls over top, and there was a gap because they played quite a fairly high line. There was space in behind, but you're looking for Chris Wood to find that space, and you're overplaying the passes. So we bypassed our midfield, even though we had as much possession as we did in that first half. We're not utilizing it, and when it was on the ground, we lost almost every single 50-50 battle. And
the problem was Anderson was at fault for those balls because he was overhitting them. He was putting them too much, going out for goal kicks. And Murillo, for that second goal, that pass is suicide. I'm not sure. I need to see it back, but I think the ref played us on an advantage because there was a foul there.
Yeah, he did. Like that. He was fouled. It was fouled.
Yeah, and he played the advantage, and then Murillo goes and whips the ball.
To the other side of the
Murillo today, that wasn't the only one with Murillo.
There was
several really simple passes that went straight to the opposition. It was mind-blowing, quite frankly.
And he got beat for the third goal as well, the cross. If you watch the third goal, he didn't even jump for it.
Yeah. And the other thing that summed the day up for me, I think it was Anderson got the ball on the edge of the box, and it might have been Hudson-Odoi tackled him. I can't remember who it was. There's a sequence where our player got on the edge of the box. One of them, I think I got it the right way around. Hudson-Odoi comes across him, tries to get out of the way, but tackled him off the ball as well. And you're like, right, we ain't getting nothing out of this. And Nicky with his agenda. All right, I gotta go in a second, but I want to know where you boys are at with Nuno. Chat, out or in, get it in the comments, because we've had the poll running all evening, and 68% of you on that poll are Nuno out, 32 are Nuno in, with over 700 votes in. So that's a very good sample size. Wow, there's a lot of outs in the comments. Now, I'll give you my stance to start with, give you guys a second to think about it. I think I'm Nuno out, but not because I don't think he's a good manager or that he can't do a good job at Forest. I can't make my peace with what he's done with that presser, and that he's got these players and isn't using them. I think he's doing what he's done at Wolves and what he did with Benzema at Saudi and all these things that we saw. I think this is Nuno's cycle. So for me, I'm out. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I think I'll follow on from there. I think he's made his position untenable over the last couple of weeks, not just today. Today was a culmination of that, and like I said earlier, it showed all his limitations today. We know what he's good at, but we know what he's not good at, and the level that he can't get us to. And I think with this squad of players, there's a better first team coach that can do more with them, and I don't think he's the right man right now. So for me, Nuno out as well. I don't think he survives this meeting.
Okay, so my natural instincts are Nuno in because I really like the guy and he's done really well for us. However, I can't ignore facts, and the facts are that on too many occasions now, is showing his lack of tactical nous. And for a football manager, that's a pretty damning indictment, I think. From a personal point of view, I like the guy, but what he's done and the fact that he's laundered our dirty washing in public, I don't like. Managers shouldn't be doing that. I mean, I think in a way that's sackable in itself, no matter how well he's doing. But today, I'm sorry to say, I think for me was the final straw. That was atrocious, and I can't help feeling that it was his fault. You know, sometimes you can have a bad result, and it could be a number of things. But today, I can't help think it's his fault. And if that's the way he is, my only fear is who we get in. But if you don't worry about who we're getting in, then yes, I'm afraid. I think he's taken as far as he can take us. I think is the polite way of putting it.
Shall I go? Shall I go?
Yeah, you may as well do it.
Unfortunately, it's deja vu of the Cooper situation because he's a manager that's taken us from one level to a much higher level, and we owe him an emotional debt for that. The problem is he's like Cooper. He's now out of his depth because he's in charge of a very big, very expensive squad with the expectation that we're going to challenge for a Champions League place and or win the Europa League, right? And I don't think that that's his level. I just don't think that that's his level, I'm afraid to say, in the same way that Cooper was out of his depth. So maybe I need to learn my lesson because I wanted to hang on Cooper far too long. I just don't see this situation resolving itself. And I think that if it's allowed to run, it will be the same outcome. Cooper was sacked about 6 games later than he should have been, right? And I hope that that's not what happens this time. That, you know, Nuno's given the backing, and then we lose 6 games, and then he goes, right? So it's very sad to be in this position, but I think he's not helping himself.
Phil?
Yes, I mean, look, I was already on the fence with Nuno before the season started. I think I was on last season with you guys, and I mentioned then I didn't like that style of football. I don't like low block, mid block, counter attack football, and I didn't see it as sustainable moving forward. I really don't like managers coming out with the stuff that he did in that interview before our first game, and then he doubled down on it again with the presser before the game as well. And that's, you know, for me, you don't do that. You do that behind closed doors. So for that reason alone, I want him out. But also, you know, this is supposed to be a special season for us. You know, we've got into Europe for the first time in, you know, however long, and he's ruining it. He's ruining it. And we've got the best squad we have probably ever had, arguably. You know, obviously you've got the team that won the, you know, the squad is
He's
so
making
good.
it all about him. He's making it all about him.
All about him, and he's and you know what? He's ruining it. He's absolutely ruining it. And did you all hear about before the season started? Even the players, didn't the players like go to him or bring up the fact that they didn't see the style of play that we had last season?
Yeah,
you know, doing well this year in Europe and challenging again. So like, maybe he's also a little bit pissed off with the players because of them bringing that up. You know, Nuno's style is last season's style. He's never been an attacking manager. So maybe he's a little bit pissed off about that as well. But I'm definitely Nuno out for what he's done in the interviews and the presses, how he's acted. You know, it's not professional. I also can't stand his in-game management. He doesn't make changes until it's too late. And the last reason is he's just ruining what should be a really special and exciting season. He's got to go.
I think that's a fair point, to be honest. Right, let me just catch up on these super chats. Where did we get to? Chris says with £2, cheers Nuno, but it's time for the special one. That's Ez's boy. Stephen with the £5. That's the worst performance since promotion. Relatively. We've read this one. Apologies. Right.
Yeah, we've read the last one as well. I wonder what
there
you're
it is.
doing.
Yeah. Darren with the 4.99. We need a coach/manager who will
Yeah,
play
we've had that
players
one as
for
well.
I
the-
read that one as well. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah I read that one
Chris,
as well.
we haven't had this one. Give it
Yeah,
£2.
we've had this one as well.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
I think we
Yeah,
have.
try it now. I'm reading it again anyway.
I don't understand what he's saying anyway. But he was originally employed as a manager or coach.
But
No,
was
it's-
he's asking the question?
Everyone.
Oh, sorry.
thinks,
Chris, sorry, mate. Got that one. I got that one wrong.
Everyone
Misread
thinks
it.
Billy Davis as being a coach, right?
Yeah,
Because
they're all
we-
coaches these days.
Yeah,
They're all
exactly.
coaches these days.
Yeah, they don't manage the football club.
Because
You
you
can't
remember how
have
Billy
managers.
Davis
You can't
wouldn't
have
talk to
managers
media
spending
and stuff like
£200
that.
million of a club's money and then fucking off.
In
Yeah.
fact,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
actually
Ross
seeing
Wilson was
echoes of
doing
Billy
it.
Davis in Nuno's behaviour. Actually, there's a little bit the
Mm.
Billy Davis petulance there, isn't there?
And Ross
Yeah,
Wilson was
yeah.
in recruitment last year, and also who was that Canadian American, whatever he was before him?
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. Oh,
Dane,
oh.
Dane
Dane,
something.
Come on,
Dane
Ed, you know
Murphy.
him.
Dane
You
Murphy.
know
Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing it before it, so it's nothing new in football. It's nothing new. And shout out to Stretch Armstrong with the 1.99.
Nobody can
And-
disagree with that comment.
Isaac with the £2. He goes, Nuno subs always reactive instead of proactive. It is
Yeah,
infuriating.
That's the
bro.
biggest problem.
It's infuriating. Right, I'm gonna go.
I
pick my
haven't.
brother.
I haven't said if I'm out or
Oh,
in.
sorry,
but-
go on.
You didn't know.
we know.
I think-
though.
Oh, we wait
we
with
could
bated
leave it
breath.
on a cliffhanger. We could leave it on a cliffhanger.
All right, but decide quickly if you're gonna say it or not, because I'm late.
I'll say it tomorrow on the transfer deadline stream.
When you're wearing the Rob
What
shirt.
cliffhanger?
Yeah. Okay, and that reminds me, we'll do a transfer deadline probably it closes early tomorrow at 7, so we'll probably go about 5:30ish, something like that. And yeah, let's see if Nuno's still in charge then or not. But make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you've subscribed. Don't forget to check out the sponsors. OK Jerseys. Use code FFTV for 8% off the already cheap £15, sorry, for your replica shirts. Are you all set up, Carlos? I'm gonna send them.
No, I'm not set up. I probably won't be set up in time to chuck them in either.
All right. I was going to chuck it. Carlos will be live on his channel in a minute. Mark, if you could chuck the link in there, make sure you go and subscribe and check him out. Where can we send you to? Where do you guys want to go?
You know that comment from Ant28226?
I'm sending you to Saeed.
That comment from Ant282, that's the same as me. I don't get notifications from FFTV ever now, even though they're definitely turned on.
Shadow bans.
So if you don't, then turn your notifications off, then back on. There's like a YouTube glitch.
Peter's saying the same,
No,
yeah.
not on, off and on again, surely.
Yeah,
It
no,
does work, it does work.
honestly, YouTube are doing too. So make sure you turn the notifications off, then back on, and they should re-notify you. And we notify you in the Discord every time we're live anyway as well. So, all right, guys, I'm sending you Saeed. Everyone spam Grimsby in his chat. He had the audacity to call me after today. So let's get some revenge. Grimsby in his chat. I will see you guys tomorrow. And to my brother, sorry I'm late.